Hello, welcome back. So today I thought it'd be fun to show you a few of the different objects and souvenirs that I purchased on my recent travels. And by recent, I mean 8 months ago. This video I wanted to film originally like right after the trip, but you know, sometimes we don't get around to things right away, but that's okay. Better late than never. And so, yeah, I feel like it's fun to kind of relive the trip through the lens of the little objects that I picked up throughout the way. And yeah, I'll kind of tell you about the trip a little bit as I go through as well. Also, pardon the cape. I'm in the midst of painting this right here. I got like 1 or 2 more coats to go. So a little sneak peek for you. The trip started out in Portugal, in Lisbon to be exact. I started out the first 3 weeks of the trip with my friends Mac and Katie. We graduated together the day before we flew out, and then immediately went on the trip, which that was kind of an interesting process, trip planning and also doing our like senior thesis and all of our finals and everything at the same time. But we did it, and we made it work, and we made it awesome, and that's what matters most. I'm gonna kind of go through the items that I purchased in order of the trip, of like when I purchased them and where I was when I got them and why and all that stuff. Alright, so the first thing that I got were these tiles, which they're like little trays almost, they're like ceramic. I love how the border is matte and the inside is shiny. They're like so simple, but I got a set of 3 of them. Well, they weren't really a set, there was a whole bunch of them, but the area that we were in Lisbon, there was a bunch of different like small ceramics shops and like workshops, and they had like stuff for sale, but I think by like all different people who have made stuff in the shops. I really liked it because Lisbon is known for like the tiles on all the buildings. Like every single building has so many different colors and patterns of tiles, and that's kind of what they're known for. In like the souvenir shops, they have a lot of like little ones that are kind of more just like printed, like just not my vibe. But yeah, I thought this was like a fun, actually usable, and something that like doesn't like blatantly be like this is from Lisbon, but having like the square kind of tiles. It's like a nice little reminder without being too in your face, if that makes sense. That's kind of the vibe I try to go for. Next, I think this was on day 2. I think it was on the same day when I bought those. So day 2 of, in total, a 6-week trip. And I bought probably the biggest item of the whole entire trip, and heaviest as well. My friend Katie knew that they're known for like their wool and their blankets. But I guess they're also known for their weaving, which is pretty cool. And this one was from like a little shop that had like different curated goods from all over Portugal. It was actually down the street from this other one, the other shop where I got the tiles. But I just love it. And it was, I don't even remember how much it was, but it was pretty reasonably priced from what I can remember. I think it was around 40 to 50 euro maybe. I just love the color so much, and it's pretty big. It's like almost queen size, maybe full or queen size. It actually came in handy. I slept with it at many of the Airbnbs that we stayed at. Has a nice weight to it without being too warm, which is really nice. It's nice. It's pretty thin, so love that. The woman who was running the shop said that it was made somewhere in northern Portugal, so that's pretty cool. That was fun figuring out packing for the rest of the entire trip, figuring out how to get this bad boy with me, but I did end up having to pay for oversized luggage at the end of the trip, but that's okay. It was worth it. It was worth it in the end. The next thing I want to show you is from Italy. This was actually purchased in Sorrento at this random, I think it was like a church yard sale, like rummage sale type thing. They had like books for sale, just random objects, cute like paintings and stuff. There's this really cute painting that I wanted to get, but I didn't know how I would transport it. A barn on one side, and on the back side it was like a sketch painting that someone did of a dog. And I was like gonna just have that side showing probably, but someone did end up buying it, so it's in good hands somewhere. But this candle holder I found was €5. I believe it's copper. I'm not sure. It's got like the patina, like it's copper. I just love it. It reminds me of like Roman like pillars architecture. It's got the motifs of the leaves and grapes on the bottom. Yeah, I just love like the beading and detail all over it. It's beautiful. Next, this one's actually a combination of the third and then also the last place that I went on the trip. The frame itself is from Copenhagen, and the little coaster that I framed inside of here was from, I might be saying this wrong, but Sant'Agata. Saint Agatha, basically in Italian. It was like the town we were staying in near Sorrento. Just one night we ended up in this little bar because they were like playing music, and we did not realize that they were actually having a private birthday party. But they loved us, we loved them. And it's kind of funny because the cat, that's like the mascot of the place, and like they originally had this cat, I guess, that would like hold a cigarette in its mouth and like jump around. That was like the original tourist attraction that allowed them to like build up their family business in the bar that it is now. And he actually looks just like Otis, in my opinion. So I showed the owner, who's like this really sweet old man. I can show you a picture that we took with him too. And then throughout the rest of the trip, I was kind of looking around for a little frame that I could put it in, and I really love this one I found at an antique store in Copenhagen that is like something I've never seen before, but in the corners it comes to like a flat point, but in the middle it's like not touching the coaster, so it's kind of like a bubble. But it's super cool. I feel like I've never seen a frame like that before, and I think it was like 5 or 10 euro. That's pretty good quality, and I love like the details of the corners. I just love how intricate they are, and I actually already had this red like matting or whatever in it, so it worked perfectly. I was able to frame it while I was there. The next part of the trip was Munich, which I went with my mom, and I actually picked this out, and she ended up giving it to me later as a little birthday gift. But super cool. It's like a table runner kind of, but I like that it's like wide and like long, so it kind of can be used in many different tables. It's not like a thin and long table runner. I just love the colors, the pattern, and it actually goes really well with a lot of the stuff that I've been kind of piecing together for my kitchen and stuff, which I'll show soon in the next home updates video. After Munich, then we went to Austria. In Vienna, at an antique store, I found this necklace, which has to be the coolest necklace that I own. Whenever I wear it, I feel like people are always asking me about it. And I love just like taking it off and being like, look at it. It's crazy. I believe I got it for around 20 euro. It has 41 charms on it, I believe, and I maybe added one, so maybe 42. So just for that alone, it's a really good price. It's like the most random collection of charms. There's like hands, pickaxe, bunny, skateboard, a little deer, birds, axes, all different things. And I feel like there's some sort of narrative here maybe, but my one gripe is I never really know which side is the front because I feel like all the charms just kind of like twist around. My mom and I were going to a lot of different churches and just like appreciating the architecture and all the little details and stuff, and we saw a lot of these. I didn't know what they're called at the time, but in researching I believe they're called ex votos, where it's like a lot of like the sacred metals and stuff put together in like a frame and like an altar, and I really wanted to collect something like that eventually. And then we were passing by a random like souvenir and stationery shop, and they had these like metal looking, found that they weren't metal eventually, but these metal gold like different shaped things, like different animals, and they were super detailed. So it turns out they're actually stamped paper, but they look just like metal. My plan is to make like kind of like a shadow box thing arranged with all of these to kind of like emulate that like ex voto thing that I was seeing a lot there and was really inspired by. Like these angel wings, these little baby angels or cherubs are super sweet. And then there's like a whole bunch of different birds. They're kind of similar in different sizes, but yeah, I thought those were very unique, and like even though they're not like those like sacred metals, they remind me of them, and like I think once I put them together into a shadow box, they'll definitely give off similar effects, so I'm excited about that. Last thing to show you, chronologically the last thing would have been the Copenhagen photo frame, but this is also from Austria, but from Salzburg this time. There was this really cool leather shop that had like all the bags they made, but they also were selling offcuts of leather, which was super exciting because I feel like, if I'm not mistaken, Austria is known for their leather work. So me as like a new beginner leather crafter, to be able to have some of like the leather from there to make into something of my own. They had just like all these scrap bins, and I was able to find these two that were pretty unique. First was this piece. It's like this midnight purple color. So cool. And like the back. That's kind of more what the color looks like in person. But yeah, I love how shiny it is. And it's like a pretty thin, but still has a little bit of structure for it. I think it would be good for some sort of like wallet or something. This other one is like this pearlescent, kind of like silvery one. I just love the color of it. And I feel like they go really well together. Like I feel like making a wallet or something with the two of these, that'd be really fun. I think together it was like 17 euro or something like that. So I'm excited to be able to make something with this. So it'll kind of be like a souvenir, but also something made by me. So looking forward to that. Love it. Feel free to follow along if you want to see how I end up styling these in my home. I'm very excited for that. Looking forward to it. I'll see you there.